It was our 10th wedding anniversary when my phone buzzed with a message I never saw coming. I'd spent the afternoon in the kitchen, chopping vegetables and slow cooking a roast, imagining a quiet evening where we might finally reconnect. Instead, I glanced down to see 5 words from my wife, Claire. I need a break from us. No explanation, no softening the blow, just a cold, clinical text that hit me like a punch to the gut. I stood there, knife still in hand, staring at the screen as the weight of it sank in. 10 years, and this was how she chose to mark it. Looking back, I shouldn't have been so blindsided. The signs had been there for months, maybe even years, creeping in like cracks in a foundation. Long silences stretched between us at the dinner table, her eyes glued to her phone while I tried to fill the void with small talk. She'd stopped laughing at my jokes, stopped reaching for my hand when we walked. Her hugs grew perfunctory, her kisses non-existent. I chalked it up to stress. Her job as a marketing manager kept her late at the office, or so she said. But that anniversary text stripped away my excuses. Something was wrong, and it wasn't just a phase. I didn't smash plates or yell into the void like some might have. Instead, I turned off the stove, dumped the uneaten roast into the trash, and sat at the kitchen table with a glass of whiskey. The house was silent except for the hum of the fridge, and I let my mind replay the last few months. Her late nights at work, the way she'd started locking her phone, the faint scent of cologne on her jacket that wasn't mine. It all clicked into place with a sickening clarity. I wasn't angry yet, just numb, like I'd been waiting for this shoe to drop without realizing it. The next morning I woke up with a dull ache in my chest and a need for answers. I grabbed my notebook and started scribbling down everything I could remember. Every excuse she'd given, every time she pulled away. Writing it out felt like piecing together a puzzle I didn't want to solve, but I couldn't stop. The more I wrote, the more I saw how our marriage had been eroding. Slowly, quietly, like sand slipping through my fingers. I'd been too busy hoping things would get better to notice how far gone we already were. That's when I remembered our linked cloud account. We'd set it up years ago to share vacation photos, but it had access to everything, her photos, her backups, her life. I hesitated for a moment, my thumb hovering over the app, knowing that whatever I found might change everything. Then I logged in. It didn't take long to spot it. A photo timestamp 3 weeks earlier, Claire smiling in a dimly lit restaurant, her arm around a guy I recognized. Colin, her coworker. The one she'd mentioned in passing, always with a casual laugh. Oh, Colin's just a friend. In the photo, his hand rested on her lower back, her head tilted toward him in a way she hadn't looked at me in years. My stomach churned, but I didn't stop. I scrolled further, finding more selfies, late-night shots, a blurry image of them kissing in what looked like a car. Each one was a knife twist, confirmation of what I'd feared but hadn't wanted to believe. Anger flared up, hot and sharp, but I didn't let it take over. I'd always been the calm one, the planner, and that wasn't going to change now. I closed the app, took a deep breath, and called a divorce lawyer I'd found online. His name was Mark, a no-nonsense guy with a gravelly voice who didn't waste time on pity. Get your ducks in a row, he told me over the phone. Bank statements, assets, evidence if you've got it. Infidelity doesn't always sway the courts, but it doesn't hurt. I spent the next 2 days doing just that. Printing out the photos, closing our joint accounts, moving my savings to a new bank. I photographed everything we owned, from the furniture to the car titles, building a paper trail she couldn't dispute. It wasn't about revenge. It was about protecting myself from the mess she'd made. Claire didn't suspect a thing. She came home late each night, tossing her bag on the counter with a breezy hey like nothing had changed. She'd ramble about her day, dropping hints about needing space or redefining our partnership, as if I'd just nod along and let her rewrite our lives. I kept my face neutral, my responses short, while inside I was 3 steps ahead. She had no idea I'd already met with Mark, that the divorce papers were sitting in a folder on my desk, waiting for the right moment. That moment came a week after the anniversary text. She walked in around 9 p.m., humming to herself, and I was waiting at the kitchen table. The folder sat in front of me, a stack of printed photos beside it. We need to talk, I said, my voice steady. She froze, her eyes flicking to the papers, then back to me. I slid the divorce agreement across the table, followed by the photo of her and Colin, the one from the restaurant. I'm not stupid, Claire, I said. And I'm not waiting around for you to figure out what you want. Her face went pale, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. She stammered something about needing time, about how it wasn't what it looked like, but I cut her off. Sign it or we go to court. Your choice. She stared at me, realizing for the first time that she wasn't the one in control anymore. After a long silence, she grabbed a pen and scrawled her name, her hands shaking. The weeks that followed were a blur of logistics, moving out, splitting assets, finalizing the paperwork. I took the apartment we'd once shared and turned it into my own space, stripping away the traces of her. Life got quieter, simpler. I'd wake up to the sound of birds instead of her alarm, cook meals for one without the weight of expectation. The anger faded, replaced by a strange sense of peace I hadn't felt in years. I started running again, something I'd let slip during the marriage, and found myself smiling at the sunrise instead of dreading the day. Months later, my phone lit up with a text from her. Do you hate me? I stared at it for a long time, thumb hovering over the keyboard. Part of me wanted to type back, to unload everything I'd held in. How she'd blindsided me, betrayed me, thrown away a decade for some guy named Colin. But I didn't. I set the phone down and left it unanswered. She didn't deserve my words anymore, and I didn't need to give them. Looking back, I can see how much I gained from losing her. The marriage had been a slow suffocation, a tether I didn't realize was choking me until it snapped. Now I wake up with clarity, with room to breathe. I'm not the man I was when I stood in that kitchen, staring at her text. I'm stronger, sharper, more myself than I've ever been. Claire might have broken my trust, but she didn't break me. If anything, she set me free.